Welcome back to Kalogio Studio News, where we don't make the news, but we make the news better. Let's get to our top story for tonight, shall we? According to sources, iron is pretty powerful, especially when it comes to fighting the British. Sources say that an iron hull was the reason that the US won that battle. Why those sources are correct.
I was walking down by the ocean and saw big ships with American flags with a giant ball coming out of it. So I jumped into the ocean to get the ball and it bounced back at the ship that fired it. And I was like, bad ball, you're supposed to let me get you.
Even though it was made out of oak, the USS Constitution was supposedly made out of iron. Our expert will tell us about the original design. Now over to you, Rylan.
Thank you. The iron warships and the French to show the vulnerability of wooden warships to incendiary shells or explosives. They were made by the French Navy and they were launched back in November of 1859. The first battleship of that was called Glory. Now, the British were considering making these ships back in 1859, but they didn't have the right parts and blueprints. So that's why back in 1861, they finally launched a full armored battle fleet of these, and the battle between the French and the British. Now back to you, Luke.
Thanks, Rylan. Now the iron-like hull was a huge success when it came to fighting the British, along with the bravery with our sailors. Evan, our correspondent, is with one of the sailors that fought in that battle. Now over to you, Evan.
The iron hull was, as you can see, a very destruction and war. And here's a soldier over here that fought in the war.
Hi, I fought in the war. I was very scared, but I got through with the war, and I fought through and I survived. Now I have no leg, as you can see. So I was fighting in the war. Thank you.
Thanks, Evan. Now let's dive into our next story for today. Shall we? Who knew that the British forces were either bold enough or stupid enough to burn down the White House? Apparently, they wanted to show us that they are willing to do anything to win this war. Evan will give us a deep dive in the story. Now over to you, Evan.
Thanks, Luke. Okay, so I'm here at the White House, or what was left of it. As you can see here, it was burned down from the war. And a woman named Dolly Madison was brave enough to save George Washington's portrait. She is now in medical care, so we cannot get a story from her. Also, it appears that there was food left over from the feast that the president had with his cabinet. So when the British burned down the White House, they ate the food too. Now backward to you, Luke.
Thanks, Evan. Now on to our last story for tonight. The British were surprisingly bold in their strategies. First, they tried to take out the USS Constitution. Next, they burned down the White House. And now they try to capture our best fort. Our sources say that a writer named Francis Scott Key saw the events that would change the course of history. This poem depicts the events of the night and how the nation's flag was still standing after an impressive bombardment. This poem eventually became our national anthem.
Go. Wait, what am I doing?
I'm afraid that the time we have for today has come to an end. Thank you for watching Kalogio Studio News, where we don't make the news, but we make the news better. And as always, remember to not bounce off the walls because they are not made out of iron, surprisingly. See ya!
Geico makes it easy to get help when you need it. With licensed agents available 24/7. It's not just easy, It's having a walrus and goal easy.
It's a walrus! Ridiculous!
Yes! Nice save, big guy! Good job, Duncan! Way to go!
It's not just easy, it's Geico easy.
Oh, Duncan, stay up. No sleepies. If you like this video, please share it. To get more great Geico videos, hit the subscribe button. Good job. There you go.
Thanks, Luke. The ironclad was freaking lit. Okay.
The Iron Coal. Is that what?
No fun.
Just sees a random wheel just rolling on.
Buddy, leave it. Leave it. Okay, let's put this. Let's put that back.
And it's been finished.
Put the fish down.
Okay, what do we have? What do we have?
Oh, there he goes. He's the king of the hill. Oh.